Costello, right now, at this very minute, someone in Europe is catching your cold. Hello?
Meine Freunde, das letzte Mal, alle Zivile hier genommen werden, dem roten Schwein und alle zusammen.
You are no longer in control of your listening device.
Can't you see that you're at the mercy of every element of the universe?
Rick and Ryan will take you on a science fiction cinematic journey into the post-atomic space age.
I'm not going to cooperate with these monsters.
We found a flying saucer. Just a minute, ladies and gentlemen. I think something is happening.
A chronological deep dive into the past.
Holy cow.
Put on your magnetic boots
Let's go.
and strap yourselves in for your ride with
The Unidentified Flying Podcast. Hi, everyone. Welcome back aboard the Lexipirdius 4 for another fine episode of the Unidentified Flying Podcast. Welcome to the new year. It's not a new year for the podcast because we are in 1951, but it is a new year for all of us back on Earth, all of you back on Earth in 2024. Or maybe we hit some kind of time pocket and it's 3024. In which case, hopefully apes are our masters. So, we got a great episode this week.
Our second movie, released in 1952, is a science...
No, not 1952.
Sorry, 1951. Our second movie, released in 1951, is a science fiction comedy film called Mr. Drake's Duck. And it is directed by Val Guest, written by Ian Messiter and Val Guest, and starring Douglas Fairbanks Jr., Yolanda Donlan, and John Pertwee. Mr. Drake's Duck tells the simple tale of a pair of newlyweds who are going to try and start a farm. She goes to an auction one day and accidentally buys a duck. She accidentally buys like 5 dozen ducks.
Yeah, a lot of them.
And she brings them home, and one of the ducks ends up laying uranium eggs.
Atomic eggs.
Radioactive eggs. And hijinks ensue.
Yes.
And it was it was released in February of 1951. Was released on February 7th, 1951 in the UK only.
Oh, never released. So, well, I guess that makes sense.
Was never released here in the States. So it definitely is a British comedy, although the actors are American.
Well,
but
the main stars are. Everyone else
the main stars are everybody. So they're kind of these Americans in the British countryside who are gonna raise a farm, and so Rick, what do you have to say about Mr. Drake's Duck?
Lot.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So, Mr. Drake's Duck, first of all, Douglas Fairbanks Jr., of course, it goes back to, Senior and the stepson of Mary Pickford. They were kind of like, very instrumental in the Academy Awards and helped start that.
Yeah, sure. Partly. Yeah, they were part of it.
I was really taken by, I don't want to go into everything I, thought about the movie, but I guess I will. Yep, scratch on that.
Spoiler alert, Rick liked the movie.
Okay. It's directed by Val Guest, who came from, did a lot of Hammer films.
Yes.
Stuff like The Abominable Snowman, and I think he did Quatermass, one of the first Quatermass movie.
I believe so. Yes, he did the Quatermass Experiment and Quatermass 2. So yeah, he did 2 of them.
Yes. And I like the snappiness of the dialogue.
Okay.
I was really taken by Yolanda Donlan. I found her completely adorable, even though they play her off as kind of a dimwit most of the time. But
in all fairness, Fairbanks is kind of a dimwit too, though. Like, they're both kind of dim-witted.
Yes. Fairbanks, of course, has the accent, like, oh, yes, darling, he talks like this, and, oh, yes, and, Jonathan Pertwee.
It's John Pertwee.
Yeah, Pertwee, who, of course, also played Doctor Who.
The third incarnation.
And is in House That Drip Blood.
Yep.
but he's got an outrageous voice. I mean, he almost sounds like he's on helium. It's like,
What are you going to do with that?
Hello, Reuben. I want you to meet my wife.
What's the matter with her?
There's nothing the matter with her. I'm carrying her across the threshold.
Why? She broken a leg?
Penny, this is Reuben. Without him, we couldn't run the farm. We've got to be very nice to him.
Hello, Reuben.
Now, where's the champagne?
Cost 28 shillings a bottle.
I know it, but where is it?
Well, I didn't buy it. It was too expensive. I got a crate of beer instead.
A crate of beer? But this is my wedding night. I told him to get some champagne for us.
So he got a crate of beer instead.
I will not drink a crate of beer on my wedding night.
Then I won't drink a crate of beer, too. We'll all have some tea.
Tea? My honeymoon. In a farmhouse. Drinking tea with this decadent string bean. I'm sorry.
There's like outdated stuff, of course, because like Yolanda Donlan, she keeps referring to herself as like a pothead.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what?
Oh, you stinker. Honey, I know I'm a pothead, and I shouldn't be allowed out.
Clearly that meant something else back in the day. It's kind of like some of the Ma and Pa Kettle movies has that vibe to it. Kind of like the first one, which is called The Egg and I. I mean, it has a similar beginning where, she's like, boy, do I have a story to tell you. And
yeah.
This one also begins with Douglas Fairbanks Jr. like looking at the camera and talking about, having this story to tell you about what happened on this farm.
Up to now, this story was top secret. But things being the way they are today, I'm at last allowed to tell you. But it's very difficult to know where to begin because, you probably wouldn't believe it anyway. If we hadn't kept a photograph album, I wouldn't have believed it myself.
But this movie, I had a lot of fun with it. Both leads, I mean, they're fun together. They got a lot of cutie banter. There's a cute little scene where they're kind of apologizing to each other through breakfast by writing little messages on their hard-boiled eggs. And I don't know, I'm fine with it. But the weird thing about figuring out that the egg, one of the eggs is atomic, is bizarre because it's just like him taking a spoon and he goes to crack the egg and he hits it.
Yeah.
And it just goes doing.
You haven't by any chance cooked me a decoy egg?
Now, honey, I'm not that stupid.
And that's what tells us that this is the atomic egg, an atomic egg.
Yeah.
So the whole kind of gist of the movie is them just finding out that this egg is atomic, and kind of the big joke of the bureaucracy of the army's involvement and everyone getting involved in taking over this poor farm and trying to find out the duck who laid it, because it's like a threat.
Nobody's going to get any tea till I find out what's going on around here.
You'll appreciate what I have to tell you, Mr. Drake, is highly confidential.
I take it my wife can hear?
Oh, of course.
Well?
Well, it's about that egg.
What egg?
The duck egg that went to be analyzed.
The one with the green yolk?
The shell was found to contain a lead base, and the green yolk contained uranium.
What does that mean?
It means that one of your ducks can complete for nothing a process that costs the British and American governments millions a year.
He says to his wife, ducks are a flying creature, so, luckily the Air Force isn't involved because all the other Army and everyone's there. And then just then, a bunch of warplanes fly overhead, and she just kind of cutely looks at him and goes, "You talk too loud." And I don't know. I kind of chuckled at that.
I thought she said something like, "Shh, quiet, they'll hear you," or something. But no, you could be right though. I don't.
She does, and then yeah. And there's some fun gags because, John Pertwee's character, he's just like a hired hand, but his name's Reuben, and he's just a grump.
Yeah.
That's all he is. He's just kind of a weird guy that hangs around for a while. I kind of think he kind of disappears from the movie. I don't remember him towards the back half of the movie as much.
Yeah, I don't. It does seem like he kind of disappeared, but
it's kind of weird because, okay, follow me on this. It kind of reminds me of Shin Godzilla in a weird way.
Whoa.
Shin Godzilla, I really like, but on a second rewatch, I noticed that.
What did you notice on your first rewatch?
On what?
How many times did you rewatch it? You said my second rewatch. I'm like, never mind. I threw you off. I thought it was funny.
But Shin Godzilla is so heavy about all the bureaucracy that takes place when you're trying to, solve this crisis that's going on. And it feels like it's just hammered in, and the joke's been made several times. Yeah. And I kind of felt like this too, where it's a little bit of a one-joke movie.
It's a one-joke movie.
So at the end, they find the duck that's doing this. And they're like, we found the duck, and they're carrying it off. So you actually see the duck. But that's like the first time you see it, because, okay, that's like the weird thing about the movie is that it doesn't really, the story never centralizes on which duck is doing this, is laying the egg. So when they do finally find it, you know, they whisk it off to like, you know, the scientists, and they're going to do some procedure on it, like exploratory operation on it. Because like, yeah, we're not shown which duck throughout the movie. It's not like it's part of the story that, oh, they discovered this duck that's laying these eggs. No, they find the egg, and then it's like, well, which duck is it out of like all these ducks? But we never like really spend any time with like the process of the duck actually being part of the story.
Yeah.
Like the duck is all peripheral. So yeah, they've got the duck, and they're doing this surgery on it to like figure out what the cause of this uranium egg-laying duck is.
It has just been announced from number 10 Downing Street that the uranium-producing duck has been moved to Guy's Hospital. Present at the operation will be the King's physician, a Home Office pathologist, and Monsieur Lépine, one of France's leading gynecologists.
And everyone's listening in. It's all super, you know, serious. Everyone's listening in on, you know, like how it's going with this duck. And then like they make this like announcement all of a sudden, like,
the following statement has just been issued from Downing Street. At 1:05 today, the atomic duck passed peacefully away while still under the anesthetic. It died without disclosing the secret of the uranium egg.
Well, okay, shit. The duck's dead? Well, bummer.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you just killed this duck. I mean, it's kind of a downer. Like, well, I guess we'll never know the mystery of the uranium in the duck. So, you know, the military packs up, leaves all real quick the farm, only for, you know, after the military's gone, they're walking through the farm, and he picks up another egg, and like he taps it and it goes doing, and they're like, oh, like we got the wrong duck. And they're like, oh no. And then they cut to like all the military coming back, and it's like, oh, here we go again. And like, that's the end. It's a weird movie, but enjoyable.
No, I think it's a trifle. It's a silly, harmless trifle. But overall, no, it didn't really do anything for me. There was some funny parts. You know, I chuckled a couple times.
Did you?
Yeah.
I really question that.
Really light chuckles. Well, the thing is I think ducks are an inherently funny animal.
Yeah, me too.
If you add a duck to something, it's about a 90% chance of comedy. So I was expecting more with the duck, but we don't really, like you said, they basically just throw all the ducks in a pen, and then every once in a while we see them running around doing their duck stuff, and that's funny because ducks are funny. But they don't ever show the actual duck. They don't.
No, we don't get to know this duck at all.
That disappointed me, because I was like, well, at the very least, give me some duck hijinks.
Yeah. Like, make it about this duck's ability to lay this egg, like, as a singular being. Let me get to know this weird duck that can do this. But we don't at all.
No. And I thought, like, it's interesting to look at it in the sense that they were, by this point in time, poking fun at radioactivity. But they still hint at, like, at one point, one of the military men says, you know, well, ducks can fly, which implies they, you know, if they're dropping uranium eggs, that's,
you
know, maybe the military should get in it, you know, so that's why they're interested.
Egg bombs.
So it was kind of interesting just to see them take a bit of a more comedic approach to what at that point had still been
very fresh
as far as world events.
Yeah.
So, and now I don't know and I'm not going to pretend to know if there were any other comedies that dealt with, radiation fears. There may have been. I'm not saying this is the first. I just found it interesting.
What's all this nonsense about a duck?
Oddly enough, this was based off of sort of a radio play that Val Guest thought was cute and funny. And I hunted for the radio play because I'm weird like that, but I couldn't find it.
Not surprising.
I really liked Yolanda Donlan. I thought she was very bright and she had like a Marilyn Monroe kind of quality. Her and Douglas Fairbanks Jr. are good together. And I like a lot of the screwball comedy aspects to it. I did enjoy that. But then again, surprise, surprise, I also like mom pa kettle movies and shit that Ryan Liskey probably would never watch. But I like that kind of stuff.
No, I'll watch anything.
So I mean, no, but you know what I mean. It's got its merits. I think it's something that worth checking out, I would say.
Sure. Like I said, I didn't hate it. I didn't love it. It was just, like I said, it's a trifle. Like, it's just a silly little bit of nonsense that basically, depending upon your tastes, you'll either enjoy it and think it's funny, or you're just going to kind of groan through it and sit there like, which is, I'm sort of somewhere in the middle. Like, I just really was ready for some duck silliness and didn't get it. But
I mean, when we heard there was a movie about an atomic duck, give me a break.
Yeah.
That launched a billion thoughts in my head, but maybe not a billion, but definitely a million thoughts in my head that what that could be.
Yeah.
But it doesn't quite lift up to that, but I enjoy what we got.
But it is the out of the 5 movies we've covered so far, it's the first comedy of the decade. And I have no idea why it was not released in the US. I don't know that. And I couldn't find any information on, did Americans find it offensive? Was it communist propaganda?
No, it fell between the cracks.
For good reason. There is one thing, I don't know if it's pretty obvious, but a drake is a male duck. So the main character, played by Douglas Fairbanks Jr., is named Donald Drake. Yeah, you crazy Brits. Silly. Just silly. Yeah, I don't... kind of an obvious joke, but, what do you expect? No, this movie did not win a single award. And I give it 2 stars. Like,
Before I give any stars, there was something I did read that was kind of interesting, is that the egg was used symbolically in a lot of marketing for the atomic age, like that it's for fertility, that it was the new thing that it would be used for. So the egg was actually symbolic of atomic energy in certain ways in other countries and whatnot. And yeah, it just was kind of interesting that maybe that plays a part in this. I'm not sure.
Example.
Yeah.
Example.
What do you mean?
Do you have an
I don't. I've read that it was used in signage, and just in like the what do you call it? Iconography of an egg was used to symbolize the nuclear power or atomic power. You don't believe me? All right, look it up.
I didn't say I didn't. I've never heard of that. But yet, that's why I wanted an example, because then maybe I have heard of it.
Well, here, if you want, I'll look it up a second real quick. The symbol of the egg was used to highlight atomic technology's usefulness in the creation of a modern nation. Atomic science was described through its potential applications for energy, architecture, and urban planning, fertility, and medicine.
Interesting.
They were trying to soften it, I think, from the male-fueled, war machine efforts of it, and bring it to a more like, natural Mother Earth, fertility, and like almost trying to kind of soften its. I don't know what are you trying to say? What? Why are you
I'm not
laughing?
trying to say it. It's just funny.
Anyway, that's what I was trying to say.
Yeah. Okay. So it's a very profound metaphor for the atomic age.
Mm-hmm.
No doubt the commies put them up to it. I'm sure, again, that explains why this was never released in the United States, because commies were a problem. And commies with eggs is even worse.
So
I got nothing.
Yeah. So what did you give this movie, Ryan?
2 stars.
2 stars?
A big old meh.
Okay. Well, I give it 3 stars.
Okay.
Yep. 3 stars.
No, that makes sense.
Yeah.
3-star movie for Rick Reed. Mr. Drake's Duck, starring Donald Drake. Mr. Male Duck's Duck.
Yeah.
Starring Donald's Duck. There's just so many layers of humor in this movie. Gosh.
Shut up.
So you see, it's difficult to know where to begin this story.
Mr. Drake's Duck is available on YouTube.
Your continued patronage is very, very welcome. Your favorite soft drinks are sparkling cold. The Juicy Frank sizzling hot. There's delicious coffee, freshly brewed, and all kinds of ice cream and candy to tempt you. Showtime will be announced loud and clear to get you back to your car in time. So stretch your legs. Come to the snack bar now.
All right, we have another comedy. This one is part of one of the biggest comedy franchises of all time, I would say. It's called Abbott and Costello Meet the Invisible Man. It was released on March 14th of 1951, and it was directed by Charles Lamont, written by Robert Lees, Frederick I. Rinaldo, and John Grant, starring Bud Abbott, Lou Costello, Nancy Guild, and Arthur Franz. Also featuring a cameo of... God, what's his name?
Is there a cameo of who?
Yeah, hold on.
You're not talking about Claude Rains, are you?
Okay. Also featuring a cameo appearance by a picture of Claude Rains. So, basically this story tells about 2 bumbling dudes named Abbott and Costello who become detectives. I don't need to tell you anything about them because I'm sure Rick will talk enough about them. But anyway, Abbott and Costello become detectives, and their first big case is they're hired by a boxer,
Tommy Nelson,
who was framed for the murder of his manager, Tommy Nelson, and he teams up with a scientist who has inherited or is a member of the family of the original Invisible Man.
He knew of John Griffin, who Claude Rains played in the original Invisible Man.
Yes.
Who perfected the serum, and he's replicated it.
That's
for
right.
Tommy. But the funny thing is, he's replicated it, but immediately says we shouldn't use it. Then why did you replicate it?
Yeah.
Why were you working on
the
it?
serum,
but you don't use it.
Yeah, he's turned some guinea pigs invisible.
The Pipitane serum was discovered years ago, and it works. 1 injection, and the cell structure becomes transparent.
Well, what are you waiting for? Come on, jab me with one of those needles, and the police will never catch me.
The boxer wants to use it so that he can go undercover with Abbott and Costello
and evade capture
and find the real murderer, all while on the lam from the police. And the big plan is to set up this boxer in a fight against Lou Costello, who's, I don't know, I'll let you explain that. Fuck that. Forget I said that. So anyway, Abbott Costello meet the Invisible Man. Rick, I know you're a huge fan. Was this the first Abbott and Costello movie of the 1950s? Where in the timeline have they met Frankenstein and all them yet?
Yes, because that was the first one that they did that. However, they are not the same characters, because in that Chick is Bud Abbott, and I can't remember Costello's name, but in this one, eventually they kind of got tired of coming up with names for them, so they just are Bud and Lou,
Yeah. Which is what I'm going to call them every time.
Yeah, every time, because they might change their last name, but I mean they're just either Bud and Lou or they're Abbott and Costello. It doesn't really matter who they play because they're always going to be them.
Well, what happened was, for people that don't know, is the Universal Monsters were kind of at the end of their run, so the studio decided to team them up with Abbott and Costello. So you saw a number of these with Abbott and Costello meet the Mummy, Abbott and Costello meet Frankenstein, Abbott and Costello meet Boris Karloff the Killer, etc., etc. So this is just another one of those team-up movies to continue the Universal Monster franchise.
In terms of meeting the monsters, this is the third monster, because the first one was Abbott and Costello meet Frankenstein. That was a smash. Yes. It's regarded one of the greatest horror comedies of all time.
What's the matter now? You know that person you said that there's no such person? Yes. I think he's in there, in person. I was reading a sign over here, this one down here. Yeah. Dracula's Legend. All of a sudden I heard... That's the wind. It should get oiled.
The second follow-up to that, they did a few movies in between. They did like Mexican Hayride and African Screams, but that's not the monsters. But the next one after that was, and those were in the late 40s. And in 49, you got Bud and Lou Costello meet Boris Karloff. Meet the killer. Boris Karloff. So technically that's not really a monster, but we know what they're going for there. It's still Boris Karloff, so yeah. And then you get Meet the Invisible Man. This one is, it's the third. So it's the Return of the Jedi of Abbott and Costello monster movies. Anyway, it's the part 3.
Wow. Are these movies considered canon?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't care. They're canon to me.
The Universal Monsters franchise, are these canon?
I
don't think they are.
No, they actually are.
Are they?
Yeah, because they talk about John Griffith. They show a picture of Claude Rains.
True, so they're canon.
And the other one has Lon Chaney Jr. as Larry Talbot. And I mean, in all those Universal Monster movies were canon to each other. They all connected in some way. They did a number of Invisible Man movies. One that you and I really like is Invisible Agent, but that's a whole other thing. But this movie, like, I think this one's pretty good. Like, there's a big thing with boxing in a lot of their movies, because Lou Costello was actually a boxer.
Oh, was he really?
When he was younger. Yes, he was actually a very good athlete. Like, he was a very good basketball player, and he won like free throw contests. And in the movie Here Come the Coeds, there's a lot of points where he's making trick shots, and he's really doing that. And like Lou Costello actually boxed under the name Lou King because he didn't want his mom to find out. And he had like 27 straight victories before he lost one. And then his mother found out, and it put an end to his career. He just didn't want to, worry her and all this, And, kind of like Jack Black, where he's athletic, but they're rotund, but he was quite the athlete. And then actually there's a boxing or like a sportsman club in Paterson, New Jersey that it operates to this day, like the last 90 years. And it was formed by Lou Costello. It was the Lou Costello like sports arena or something. And not arena, but it's like a
gym.
Like a gym. Yes, exactly.
Training gym.
So yeah, I'm more curious to know what you think about this, because I could, interject and go into this, but like all day being a fan. But one thing that's interesting. Hold on, one more person that's in this movie is the cop that's chasing them is William Frawley. People know him as Fred Mertz on the I Love Lucy show.
There's also another interesting member of the cast, and that's Samuel Balter Jr. He plays the sports announcer that they keep cutting to.
Mm-hmm.
Now, he was in real life a basketball player, and he won a gold medal at the 1936 Summer Olympics, and then went on to become a sportscaster. And he was sometimes cast in a lot of movies back then as sportscaster. So it'd be kind of like so it would be people at that time, this would have been an in-joke for them. Kind of like how Bob Costas and all them were in basketball.
Mm-hmm. Can I say two more people of interest?
Oh, yeah.
Charles Lamont, the director, is a very prolific comedy director. He directed so many of the Abbott and Costello movies, but he also did one of the Francis the Talking Mule movies. He did a lot of Ma and Pa Kettle movies. He's just very famous for comedic movies.
That Charles Lamont never made a bad film.
No, never did.
Constant parade of classics.
The other thing that's interesting, though, is Morgan, I think he's the villain of the movie. Because basically, Tommy Nelson, the boxer, he, like all these movies, he was supposed to take a dive, and then he didn't. So the gangster guy, murders his manager, and therefore framed Tommy Nelson. That's why Tommy Nelson's on the run, because they think he killed his manager.
Yeah.
And what they're doing now is setting it up that Lou Costello is now a boxer, and they're kind of doing the same thing where they come to them and say he has to throw the match, or they're going to kill his manager, which is Bud Abbott.
But he has a ace up his sleeve in this, though, in that the Invisible Man is going to actually do all his boxing for him.
Tommy, you here?
Yeah. This is our first move. Now stick close to that bag and I'll do the rest. Buddy's ready to blow up. Start working on him.
Just a minute, chum. This butterball can smear you all over the map. Oh, Bud, don't say that. And I'll repeat it. He can smear you all over the map.
That's it. Steam him up, Bud.
Lou, take a poke at him.
Me?
Yes, you. Do you want him to think I'm a coward?
Look, I'll fight the two of you.
You couldn't even like him.
Oh, yes, he could.
Oh, wait a minute. Take a punch at him. I dare you. I double dare you.
Stop coaxing him.
Morgan is played by Sheldon Leonard, and Sheldon Leonard is a huge name in television producing. Did I Spy, Andy Griffith's Show,
Gomer Pyle, USMC.
Yes.
The Danny Thomas Show.
Yeah, Gomer Pyle.
AKA Make Room for Daddy.
Or Make Room for Duty, if you know what I'm talking about. Anyway.
Wow.
That's some other stories out there. But yes, he was also a producer.
What, this guy like to be shit on?
Do we really want to go there in this podcast? He liked to lay under glass coffee tables and yeah, okay.
I get it.
Anyway, onward and upward. So Sheldon Leonard, big name in television history.
Okay, a little background, because I know you know this, but people at home don't.
Ryan doesn't like comedies?
Don't.
Yeah, I know.
No, I did not mean to imply that you were all at home while listening to this, so don't be mad at me.
Gotcha.
You can be anywhere while listening to this. I did not
you
mean
can be
to
in a car.
offend.
It's fine. You can be at work. You can be one of the kids at Taco Bell wearing an earbud listening to this, because I never could have wore something like that during a job that I worked at like that. I can't believe how many places I see people wearing earbuds.
Every time I go to one of the Target or Meijer or Walmart or something like that.
they're wearing earbuds. I can't
the
believe
employees are all standing around on their phones at their registers. I'm like, we would have lost our jobs so fucking fast if we had done that. All right. So
I digress.
As far as Abbott and Costello goes, just for the sake of me giving you all context here, let me lump them in with Marx Brothers, Laurel and Hardy,
Three Stooges, the four.
That era of comedy, okay?
The Three Stooges, the Marx Brothers, Laurel and Hardy, and Abbott Costello, the big four.
Yeah. Now, I am not as big a fan of these movies as Rick is.
That's an understatement.
Let me explain.
Yes.
I was not exposed to these movies as a child. They just were never on. I don't know if there were just no fans in the family.
Your dad doesn't really watch stuff like that.
No. I remember one time on a Saturday afternoon, I was bored. My mom said I could watch TV, and she said, "Oh, look, a Marx Brothers movie. You might like them." And that was basically it. And I'm not a person that really gravitates to comedy. I like comedy, but I don't really gravitate to it. So I just never sought these movies out as I got older. So that's all you need to know about me as far as where I come from with these movies. So, having said that, I've only ever seen one other Abbott and Costello movie.
Really?
And that was
it's probably Frankenstein.
No, it was Abbott and Costello Meet Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Is the only other
you've
one
never
I've ever
seen
seen.
Meets Frankenstein?
No, not yet. Not yet.
That's like the big one. Okay.
I have. These are all on my watch list because they're Universal monster movies.
You're more of a Universal monster fan,
yeah. So, having said all that, how do I feel about this one, Abbott and Costello Meet the Invisible Man? I actually quite enjoyed it. I've got to admit.
I think that's great.
I warmed up to them pretty quickly. At first, when they were at the graduation ceremony for their, where they're graduating from detective college.
Yeah.
I was a little like, oh God, here we go. Because it was the same, it was kind of the same old stuff, pull the chair out before he sits down and he falls and yada, yada, yada. Oh, I slipped the guy $20, I mean, just, how did I graduate? Oh, I slipped the guy $20. That kind of humor, which I'm like, Jesus. But then, okay, they get to their office and there's a sketch involving a wad of money and a $5 bill. A little joke they do with him. I can't explain it.
It's a shtick of like paying someone money and handing it back, but like constantly like taking it out from underneath their hand and making it look like there's more money being laid down and all that.
A classic gag.
Classic. But yeah, it's so good.
That one cracked my shell a little. And I was like, all right, okay, that's funny. And then, lo and behold, I just got into the movie. I'm always worried when I go into these kind of things because horror and comedy or science fiction and comedy can sometimes be a difficult balance. Sometimes you go too far this way or too far that way, more so in horror comedies. I think horror and comedy can be so beautiful when they mesh, but
it's a hard mesh. Yeah.
So for every Ghostbusters or Shaun of the Dead, there's Scary Movie 1 through 4, or there. I
think there's some funny shit in those too. But I get it. But that's spoof, so those don't count. But like when it's an actual story.
To me.
But these are like a story that where the genres actually have to mesh.
Well,
what
spoofs, I like about it is they take the they take the plot, the murder mystery plot of this serious.
Yeah.
And kind of let the jokes grow out of the situation.
Yes.
Rather than finding excuses to just shoehorn a joke in. Although they do that a couple times to...
Like a gag I like is when they first get to the old house or whatever, and they're looking and he's like, whoa. And it's like looking at the bat on the wall. And he's like, that's a moth, because there's a moth on the flashlight. It's like, yeah.
Silly stuff like that. But I because they didn't, the boxer really wants to clear his name. He's innocent, and he really wants the serum, and like none of it's like
goofy.
It just feels like the Invisible Man parts of this movie. Yeah, feel like an Invisible Man movie. And then,
that's the magic of their movies, though. The Abbott and Costello meets Frankenstein and whatnot, is that they do make the serious film. I mean, and somehow Bud and Lou just slip into that world just fine. And it's kind of amazing that they do.
Yeah.
You know, more so than any of the others. The Marx Brothers couldn't do that. The Three Stooges couldn't really do that. Like, Laurel and Hardy wouldn't have been able to really, I mean, in some way, but not in the way that Bud and Lou do. It's interesting how they make that transition.
I'll be honest, I don't remember a whole lot from the Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde one. I do remember that I liked it, but I don't remember much about it, but I can remember thinking, wow, they actually... the Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde story was actually done well, you know, and so I guess with me going into this one, I kind of worried that it was going to be just an onslaught of pratfalls and, you know, just silly one-liners.
You thought it was going to be the Bowery Boys or Bela Lugosi meets a Brooklyn Gorilla and that kind of shit.
Yeah, I can't stand those.
They're not like that.
But I did, overall, I think a lot of it just really worked for me.
I'm so happy to hear that.
I do think there were a couple jokes that didn't really pay off and I thought were just kind of pointless.
Of course.
There was the one when they're playing cards with the boxer and he's still invisible, and then somebody knocks on the door, so they got to hide the boxer. And like, instead of him just going and hiding in his room, they throw a tablecloth over him and use him as a coffee stand. Like, it just
which he's already invisible.
Yeah, it's so conspicuous that it's like, well, that's not funny. Like,
there's another thing like that where he walks up in the traditional, you know, gauze and goggles, the Invisible Man look, and you know, the gauze and the you know, glasses, you know, and Bud Abbott goes like, he says something like, "Wow, Tommy, that's a great disguise. No one will ever recognize you in that." And I'm like, but won't they think it's weird?
Everybody's gonna notice you.
Yeah, exactly.
You are not inconspicuous at all.
Why not just be invisible? That's the most inconspicuous you can be.
Yeah. There were a couple things like that, where again,
but then I guess he'd have to get naked. I guess, I don't know. Maybe he doesn't want to walk around naked. I don't know.
It's just, you know, it's one of those things where sometimes they cater the scene to the joke, and sometimes the joke caters to the scene. And I think for the most part they did a good job. And besides all that, I actually think the effects were pretty good.
I was going to mention that. With the card playing that you mentioned, the card playing scene, it's cool the way the cards flip, and it works.
But I think there's a scene at the end when, you know, all the players come together and they're in a locker room and they hit one of the pipes and some steam comes out.
Oh yeah,
and you can see the Invisible Man, and the guy throws a knife at him and it sticks in his chest, and it's really cool. It just looks neat. Like, I'm like, okay, this is...
I mean, it looks like something out of Hollow Man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It looks kind of cool.
I'm like, this is cool for its time. And yes, obviously, the movie builds it up so the set piece that you're waiting for is the boxing match. where you get to see the Invisible Man fighting for Lou, and it pretty much pays off. It's pretty much what you want to see. Like, when you get to it, you're like, God, please be funny at least, because I'm kind of waiting for this moment. And it's funny. Like, it's pretty funny. And but the only other what was the other thing I was gonna say is that there isn't like a throwaway line in this that I thought was kind of interesting in how it ties into our podcast, in that all these people keep seeing the Invisible Man, so they keep going to the cops and this police psychiatrist, and they're like, no, I'm telling you, I saw a car being driven by nobody. And you know, that kind of stuff. And the guy goes, oh boy, you could tell the police and the psychiatrist are getting fed up. So at one point he goes, oh, did you see the Invisible Man, or is this flying saucer day? So I thought that was kind of fun, that like, the flying sea, they're still making jokes about the flying saucer thing that, again, would have been still pretty fresh in the headlines. So it's kind of funny how you see that seep into these. Because probably before 1950, like, that wouldn't have even been a joke anybody got. Like, or not 1950, but 1947. Like,
that was topical.
Yeah, so it was kind of topical. Like, you hear that line today and you think, I've heard that a million times.
I like the gag where when he first when Lou Costello first sees him, and he goes like, whoa, and he jumps and he like dives under the car completely.
Yeah. The only part I think went on way too long was the scene in the bar, just when the Invisible Man's getting drunk and Lou Costello's, they're doing the deal with the mobster, and it's just, it keeps going. And he's
kind of hitting on he's kind of infiltrating with the gun mall kind of.
Yeah. And,
you know.
But some of the Invisible Man's insanity is starting to show.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's not that long of a movie to begin with, so whatever.
Because in Invisible Man lore, that's the danger of the serum, is that eventually it drives you crazy. Yeah. You know?
Which we saw in all the, most, three of
except for the Invisible Agent. He's the only guy that's got it under control, so. Or
Invisible Woman. She has it under control.
Yeah. She's fine.
But
that, and I you know, some of even the simple gags are kind of cool, like where Bud Abbott is like, let go of me, Tommy, and it looks like he's like yanking at his coat. It just kind of looks, it looks kind of neat. It looks like fingerprints in it grabbing the coat. The effects are pretty good. Like,
it just works. Like,
it's charming.
It's very well balanced. It's entertaining. It's funny. I can't imagine either side of the coin not finding this movie entertaining, like, be it a horror fan or a comedy fan. Like, this is where we can both meet.
One thing in the lore of these movies, though, with Abbott and Costello, it's like the only unfulfilled promise is that it is not Vincent Price as the voice of the Invisible Man and whatnot. They've switched it because at the end of Abbott and Costello meets Frankenstein, when everything's all over with and they're in the boat and you see a cigarette coming up, and that's the tag joke, is like, oh, excuse me, I'm the Invisible Man, and it's Vincent Price. So everyone's kind of waiting for because Vincent Price was the Invisible Man in, I think, the second film.
Second one,
the Invisible Man Returns. So you don't get Vincent Price, but you get Tommy Nelson. I love when he injects the serum. For some reason, he just starts laughing hysterically as he turns invisible.
Yeah.
It's just kind of
you got to do that.
All the Invisible Man movies are kind of good because they got those good effects with shit, you know.
Yeah, it's a pretty solid, and one of the longer running franchises of Universal Monsters, and
I love the first one. I love
they're
Claude
all
Rains
pretty
and-
solid.
Yeah.
There's a couple like sort of clunkers, but even the clunkers are fun.
You fiend.
So yeah, overall, I gotta say this is I had a lot of fun with this one, and it, for
that, I think that's great. I mean, like Ryan was saying with him, with not being a fan, I, on the other hand, kind of live and breathe those four comedic groups, like the Marx Brothers, Three Stooges. I just grew up that way. I grew up watching that stuff as a kid, even. My favorite thing in the world was to go in the classic section and I would find another volume of Laurel and Hardy and all that stuff. So, I mean, I've listened to Abbott and Costello radio shows. I have like 40 hours of their radio show. I have all that stuff, Jack Benny and all that. So I'm always curious as to how Ryan feels about these movies, because that's our not split, but it's definitely
it's not a split. It's just it's a big gap in my film watching is a lot of classic comedy. Again,
you don't gravitate to it like I do.
No,
so
as a genre, and partly because, and I was wondering about this at one time, like because there are comedies I just love and think they're masterpieces, but I figured out two things. One is I generally watch a lot of movies by myself. It's nothing personal against anybody else. It's just what I like to do.
And comedy's communal.
Yeah, I don't watch comedies by myself ever. Like, I won't just sit there and throw a comedy on. It has to be kind of a comedy drama or something,
like The Apartment or something.
Noah Baumbach movie or I something like Don't Look Up, or those I can get into because they have other elements to them. But just a straight up comedy.
Screwball comedy.
Like you said, it's a communal thing. And I find when I watch comedies with people, I respond to them the way you're supposed to. So I think it's just
more.
I pretty much prefer to watch comedies with other people, and I don't watch a lot of movies with other people, so I just don't get around to a lot of comedies. I don't know. I watch comedies by myself all the time. When we were like nerdy young kids, we got hats made that had a big M on it because we were the masters of horror. We were all about that and all. And I remember I was always renting Laurel and Hardy and Three Stooges stuff and whatever. And you gruffly looked at me one day and go, I don't know, maybe why don't you have a hat that says you're the master of comedy? You were like that. Yeah. You were a jerk about it. And I just always was that kid. I just always was. Well, Looney Tunes, to be fair, our friend Randall was with us, and that was, and he set that
I don't
off.
remember that. I think you said it, though. Okay.
Can I finish?
You can finish, Ross Perot.
He said, if you remember, you and I were going around calling ourselves the masters of horror, so he proclaimed himself the master of sci-fi.
Oh, I don't remember that at all.
And then because he did that, I kept making jokes about, my brother's a master of the sports drama.
I don't remember that at all. I just remember you going, are you sure you're a master of horror? Really, you're a master of comedy.
What I'm getting at is that is what led me to make that joke to you, because I would have been doing that.
So how many stars do you give? Oh, any awards?
The movie itself did not win any awards and was not nominated for any. However,
no Hugos?
It was a 2015 nominee for the Saturn Award, which is another genre-oriented award for like horror, sci-fi, and fantasy. And they awarded the best DVD Blu-ray collection for the Universal Classic Monsters Complete 30 Film Collection.
Because
this was part of that collection.
Yeah, that's a dynamite collection, though.
Was nominated for a Saturn Award. So
that collection's amazing. Yeah.
That's the only award.
So, it's good. How many stars?
Honestly, I'm giving it 3.5.
Awesome. Awesome.
Not quite 4 because I do feel there were just enough jokes that misfired for it to be a perfect, horror comedy for me. But for the most part, it was so strong. So I'm giving it that extra half star that I
think that's
you
fantastic.
Almost got there. So yeah.
I'll go a half star more and I'll give it 4.
Okay.
But I was trying to think of, do I like this more than Meets Frankenstein? And not really, but it's definitely right up there with it.
Strangely enough, so far out of the 6 movies we've covered and discussed, Abbott Costello.
This had the higher rating.
Meet the Invisible Man is my highest rated film so far.
That is a bizarro world right there, folks.
By half star.
That's great.
Now, the decade gets pretty dope, folks. So you're going to hear a lot of 4 and 5 star. But yeah.
We haven't really gotten to the meat of science fiction 50s yet.
I am looking forward to watching the rest of these Abbott Costellos. I think we've got a couple more coming up for the podcast, but
I'm so glad that's recorded. I'm going to replay that over and over. Just hearing you say that, it brightens my day.
Yeah, but it's just so weird because I don't think I'm as hard on comedy as you think. I just haven't seen a lot.
You're worse.
And there's just some that just don't appeal to me.
That's okay, but for someone like me that's loved it, it's nice to see you enjoy it. That's all. Forget it.
I still don't think Blazing Saddles is that funny.
Yeah, well, you're wrong. So whatever.
I'm a young Frankenstein guy.
I am too. I think that's the masterpiece. And honestly, have you ever watched High Anxiety?
No,
that's the Hitchcock
I started
one.
It one night, and
I think that one's great.
Some joke in it made me mad. Like it was so.
Of course it did.
It was so dumb.
Of course, one joke made you mad that you turned it off.
Well, it was like, remember when you and I went and saw Robin Hood Men in Tights in the theater?
Yep. And we walked out after the Home Alone joke.
The Home Alone joke, it was a joke like that where I went, oh, God.
Now, oddly enough, when I went back to all the Mel Brooks movies, one of the highlight gems was that one. I found it so much funnier than I ever did before.
You did.
But that's a whole other podcast. So anyway, yay for Abbott and Costello.
Yeah.
It's great.
Now, I was about to say, what would make it even better is if those guys went into space someday. And they do, but we aren't there yet.
Yeah.
But yeah, we will be visiting with these gentlemen again in the coming years, or episodes.
There's a Abbott and Costello meets the Keystone Cops, and I just feel that's redundant. It's like silly meets silly.
I feel like that would annoy the fuck out of me. I just do.
And Lou Costello Meet the Invisible Man is available on glorious physical media.
Be sure and remember what Bert the Turtle just did, friends, because every one of us must remember to do the same thing. Duck and cover.
This is Rick, and on behalf of the crew of the Lexaproteus 4, I just wanted to say thank you. The importance of you listening to our show is of extraordinary magnitude. So please like, share, talk about it to your friends, post a comment, anything you would normally do on social medias. You have our gratitude. If you write a review, we'll read it on the air. And once again, smash, hit, whatever the kids say, all the like buttons, and help us defeat Algorithm, the Dark Lord of the universe. Once again, special thanks to Cadet Joe Whitaker, and tune in next week when we meet the man from Planet X.
still seeing men disappear into thin air, or is today Flying Saucer Day?